Am I the a-hole for filing a complaint after my iced coffee spilled all over me? So I, 27M, stopped at McDonald's yesterday morning on my way to work. It was one of those mornings where nothing feels right. I overslept, my tie wasn't ironed properly, and traffic was already backed up before I even got to the freeway. I figured an iced coffee would at least make the day more bearable. I went through the drive-thru like usual. The girl at the window looked kind of rushed, and honestly the whole line felt chaotic. When she handed me my iced coffee, I didn't notice anything off. I didn't think to check the lid. Who actually does that when you're half awake? I said thanks, pulled forward, and parked for a second to take a sip before heading back onto the road. The second I lifted it, though, disaster. The lid popped clean off like it hadn't even been pressed down, and the entire drink, coffee, cream, and ice, dumped all over me. It soaked my pants, ran between the seats, and splashed into my cup holders and gear shift. It literally looked like I had an accident in my car, and the smell of sweet cream coffee instantly hit me like a brick wall. Now, I'm not usually the type to make a fuss, but I had work in 20 minutes and my light gray pants looked completely ruined. I sat there for a second in disbelief, like, did this actually just happen? Then I figured, okay, accidents happen. I'll just go inside, explain, and maybe they'll replace it or at least give me some napkins to clean myself up. I walked inside holding the dripping cup and asked politely if I could get a replacement drink. The cashier called for the manager, and that's where things got bad. The manager came over, this woman in her late 30s, and before I could even finish explaining, she gave me this look like I was lying. She said, well, that doesn't just happen unless you weren't holding it right. You probably squeezed the cup too hard. I told her I literally just lifted it to take a sip. I even showed her the lid, which didn't have any coffee on the rim, like it hadn't even been sealed, and the cup, which wasn't crushed or bent. She just shrugged and said, we can't just give out free drinks every time someone claims an accident. If we did, people would come in here every day trying to scam us. I was shocked. I wasn't even asking for money back, just a replacement and some napkins to help clean up. At this point, my shirt and pants were visibly stained, and a couple customers in line were staring at me. I could feel my face turning red. I asked again, this time firmer, if they could please at least replace the drink since the lid clearly wasn't put on properly. She rolled her eyes and said, look, sir, we gave it to you fine. If it's spilled, that's on you. Hold it better next time. That was the last straw. I told her I'd be filing a complaint with corporate. She smirked at me and said, you can do that, but nothing's going to come of it. We've heard it all before. So I left, still dripping coffee, and had to drive all the way home to change. By then I was late for work, smelled like sugar and milk, and my car seats were sticky. My boss wasn't thrilled, and I had to sit through an entire morning meeting trying not to stick to my chair. When I got home that evening, I did file a complaint through McDonald's corporate website. I explained everything in detail, uploaded a photo of my stained pants. Yes, I took one because I was so annoyed, and even described the manager's response word for word. So far, I've only gotten the generic "thanks for your feedback" email. Now, here's the thing, I told my friends what happened, and they're divided. One said I overreacted, and that it was just a freak accident, not something to get someone in trouble over. Another said the manager was completely unprofessional, and that I should absolutely push corporate harder because her behavior was unacceptable. So Reddit, AITA for making such a big deal about a spilled iced coffee. I'll provide an update too, soon once I hear back from corporate, or if anything else happens. Update, am I the a-hole for filing a complaint after my iced coffee spilled all over me? Hey everyone, thanks for all the responses on my last post. I honestly didn't expect it to blow up the way it did. A lot of you said I wasn't the a-hole, some said I should just move on, and a few suggested I push harder with corporate. So hear what happened after. A couple of days after I submitted the complaint, I got a phone call from someone at McDonald's corporate customer service. They wanted me to walk through the situation again in detail, which I did. I explained the whole thing about the lid not being sealed, how the drink spilled everywhere, and most importantly, how the manager basically mocked me in front of other customers. They took notes, asked which location it was, the approximate time, and if I remembered the names on the employee badges. I didn't get the cashier's, but I remembered the manager's name clearly because it was on her tag. About a week later, I got another call, this time from the franchise owner. He was surprisingly professional and polite, and he apologized for what happened. He said he'd already reviewed the security footage from that morning. Apparently, you could clearly see the employee handing me the cup with the lid barely pressed down, and you could see me walk back and holding the dripping drink, not angry, just asking for help. He also told me he was disappointed in how the manager handled the situation and that she had been spoken to formally. When I pressed a little, he admitted she'd received multiple complaints before for being dismissive with customers, and my complaint was the last straw. He didn't say outright that she was fired, but he did say she was no longer managing that location. Make of that what you will. As for me, the owner offered to send me a $50 gift card and a written apology letter. Honestly, I wasn't looking for free stuff, but I appreciated it. More than anything, I just wanted acknowledgement that I wasn't crazy or making a fuss over nothing. The funny part, a few days later, one of my friends sent me a screenshot from our town's Facebook community group. Someone had posted about how that same manager was let go and was ranting about how unfair it was. She apparently claimed some customer lied about her, and that corporate always sides with the customers. People in the comments were roasting her, saying they'd had similar bad experiences. So yeah, in the end, I didn't just spill coffee on myself. I ended up being the final push that got a rude manager out of the job. Am I the a-hole? I don't think so anymore.